Hey, you guys, welcome back to Confidence Becomes You podcast with me, your host, Cleopatra. This is a place where you will learn how to become an embodiment and expression of your most confident self from the inside out and learn how to take up space, be seen, and make your mark with confidence wherever you truly want to be. Because when you do, confidence will become you. It will look so good on you. If this feels like the right and aligned place for you to be in, then make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If this is your first time here, guys, welcome. I'm very happy for you to be here. My name is Cleopatra. I am a confidence and visibility coach. My goal is to help you become an expression of your most confident self and take up space as her, because I truly believe it is your purpose to unleash the greatness that lies within you and to leave your mark. And this is what I am here to help you do, because it's so important. We are made to make impact, okay? My girls, I know what it feels like to want to create my dream life so bad, to become a better person so bad, so that I can thrive and not just survive, to give myself opportunity to experience like all the great things that this world has to offer with people I love, mostly my daughter, to be able to give her a better quality of life than I ever had so bad, to the point where I became desperate. I remember the moments in my life where I just felt so desperate to succeed. I was feeling hopeless, like my life wouldn't get any better, like I couldn't control my outcome, and that I was running out of time, and that I couldn't live without getting what I wanted. And I know that this is such a common feeling that occurs for a lot of you in different moments in our lives, especially if you're in a place right now where you want so much more for yourself because you see it, right? You see other people have it. You know that more is possible. You want more than your family has ever seen. You are tired of watching everyone else living their dream lives. You want it too. You want to build generational wealth. You want to be able to have a family and a business or a career that you love at the same time. You mostly want to be able to prove to yourself that you can do it, and to others that doubt you, or just to inspire others as well. The downside to this deep desire is that when this desire is so strong within you, it is very easy to move into desperation, because on the journey of getting those things, you will go through some things, right? You will experience many setbacks and many challenges along the way that can create this feeling and put you in a state of desperation. But I finally became aware of something the very last time I experienced this suffocating feeling of desperation. I was lying in my bed crying, nothing making sense to me. My heart was heavy. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was failing my daughter. I felt so much shame for not being where I felt I should be. This great vision that I had for myself just seemed to be so far away, so hard to have and achieve. I just felt hopeless, just asking myself, how can I allow myself to get to this point? But as I lay there crying, having this feeling of, I don't know how I can go on, something woke up inside of me that said, 1, you are repelling everything you want because you are so desperate. And 2, you do not need any of this. You want it. So from that day forward, I made a decision to never allow myself to become desperate for anything ever again. I don't need it that bad. If it disrupts my peace of mind, I don't want it. And it was as simple as that. And so in this episode, I want you to understand how your desperation is repelling everything that you desire. And for you to learn how to get out of this state of desperation so that you can take back your dignity and your power and embody the confidence that you are meant to express. It's so time to get this out of your system, ladies, okay? So let's get into it. So, what is desperation? The feeling of desperation is a result of losing complete hope. So, what does it really mean to have hope? Well, I learned that hope means to live in a state of expectation, right? AKA confidence that something that you desire will happen with respect to events and circumstances in one's life. Meaning, in simple terms, trusting in the unseen despite all the things that you are experiencing right now. And so, during my research on this topic, what was often stated in my research is that to hope means to breathe. You may have heard this statement before: if there is still breath in your lungs, then God isn't done with you yet. Where there's breath, there is hope. There's also this quote from this Greek poet that states, while there is life, there is hope, and only the dead have none. Wow. Only the dead have none. And as you know, breathing is something that we need to be alive. It's a necessity, and without it, we die. And so when we lose complete hope and become desperate, it symbolizes our lack in ability to breathe. When you are desperate, right? And I know this from personal feeling, it literally feels like we're dying inside. It begins to feel like we're suffocating and we're losing ourselves. Our good vision for our lives tends to get blurry. We can't see anything good to come. Our ability to think clearly diminishes. Our body begins to shut down and we feel helpless, like we're losing control. We're no longer feeling safe and secure. This is what happens when you are in a state of desperation. This is literally, like I said, how I felt when I was in a state of desperation. You want to be able to come up for air and just breathe, but you feel like you can't. You want so desperately to get out of your current circumstances, but you feel like you can't. And you're wondering, when are you going to be able to breathe again and not feel like this? So I want to share with you the things that allowed me to step out of desperation and into confidence so that you can take your dignity back while you are on this journey to attracting everything that you want. So these are the steps that I've taken to release desperation within me. All right. So first crucial step for me was taking my power back and waking up from the belief that if I didn't receive anything, if I didn't receive something, then that defines my worth, my happiness, and my ability to live. As I just mentioned, we've all been in desperate situations where we felt that we needed to make something work so badly, whether that was in a business that, you invested so much money, so much time in, and not only it affected you, but it affected you and your family, your relationships, and you just wanted to prove to them so bad that it's going to get better. I promise you it's worth it. Or that relationship you spend so much time in for so many years that you're desperate to make it work, because who is going to love you like that again? That we ended up giving those things or that thing power over us, right? It affected how we felt. It affected the decisions that we made. We lost our power because we chose to value that specific thing or those things over our lives, over our ability to live and be happy in our self-worth. And for me, nothing ever came good from acting from a powerless state. No decision I ever made ever came from that. And that's what desperation do to you. You lose your power. I was once believing that everything that I desired was outside of me and out of my control, and that I was less valuable without these things. When you are desperate, meaning again, you lost hope, that you went from desiring something expectantly and excitingly to needing, meaning you're not acting from a state of confidence and trust. You're acting from a state of powerlessness, from those insecurities and worthlessness and helplessness. I want you to be able to take that power back. To shift from desperation to confidence, I highly, highly, highly suggest that you create this separation. Tell yourself that you are worthy, that you can be happy, that you can live a good life, even if you do not receive those things, that dream job, even if you don't receive those dream clients, even if you don't receive as many followers as you want, even if that specific business never takes off or you don't get the person that you want in your life. You still deserve to be happy. You still deserve to live. And it doesn't define how worthy you are. And truly, truly believe this. I know it can be challenging to believe this, but we have to learn to believe this and accept that we don't need those things, right? We don't need those things. We just want those things. And oftentimes, we feeling like we need something is often because we want to feel validated that we can do it or that we're good enough for that one thing. For example, for me, I wanted so desperately to make a business work so that I can validate to my partner that I had and family that I can do it, and all the time and effort that I put into it was worth it, and it was not going to be like this forever. Also, to prove that someone like me, a Black single mom, can be successful, and having a successful business will make me special. It will make me not the same. However, remember that moment that I said, I will never be desperate for anything again? That shift happened because I was becoming aware of the fact that trying to make something work so bad just to feel good enough and to validate me and what I'm doing was so draining. It was so draining mentally, physically, emotionally. I was tired. And number two, if I was to receive the very things that I was desperately trying to get, how would I feel in the end? I knew deep down inside I will feel depleted for killing myself for the sake of success, for not allowing myself to rest. I will feel shame and I will feel sadness for overlooking other good things that I had in my life, overlooking enjoying the journey and the milestones that I've made. Sometimes we overlook the progress we made because we're desperately trying to get to that end goal, but we end up forgetting those things and enjoying the process. I did not want to experience that because in the end, it is not worth it. Desire is an amazing thing to have. It is an innate thing to have. We all have a desire. So to go after it is amazing. That's what we should do. We should fulfill that life purpose. We should become my best self. But in the process, it is not worth you losing yourself. It is not worth you acting out of desperation. It is not worth you not becoming your best self because you won't become your best self if you are desperate. Your best self, your most confident self is not desperate. Nothing is worth you losing your dignity, your self-respect. Nothing is worth you feeling like you can't live without it. Nothing is worth that. Nothing is worth you being depressed and stressed and feeling hopeless, feeling like you're nobody. You don't need it. You just want it. And you can live perfectly a great life without it. Something that I did to create that separation was just imagining, like, what if I never knew the things that I desired existed? Because at some point I didn't know, right? At some point in your life, the things that you are beating yourself up for to have, you did not even know existed. You didn't know that job existed. You didn't know that man existed. You didn't know this business existed for you. If you never knew these things existed, you would never be desperate for it. And you would just be living your life as such. That wake up inside of me changed everything for me from that day forward. I made the decision that if I am to truly be my best self, my most confident self, then confidence and desperation shouldn't even be in the same sentence. Because if I'm desperate, then I'm only one, believing in my own strength. Two, I really don't have true confidence because I stopped expecting everything that I desire to happen and started to feel like I have to lose myself, beg, overwork, and kill myself to attain what I needed. I stopped expecting, I lost hope, and I stepped into desperation. That is not confidence. I saw this statement. It says, or this quote, whatever. Desperation is both a broken connection and a communication with your spirit. Let that sink in. It is very hard to connect and hear from your inner self, that inner you, when you feel hopeless. The feeling that tends to come up when you are desperate is despair. It is sadness. It is depression. It is anger. There's a broken connection with the true you, with our inner self. That inner guide directs our path to where we should go and the moves we should take. But we cannot connect if we are struggling to come up for air, to breathe, which is to hope. If we are full of negative emotions that is the cause of being desperate, remember, in this state, we cannot think clearly. Nothing makes sense. So we won't be able to detect what makes sense. And so that's why desperation is that broken connection, and we have to move from desperation and step back into hope, confidence, expectation. So the second step that I've taken to release desperation is finding a balance between wanting and waiting. Like I mentioned before, desire is important. I love having desire. I get excited when I get a desire because I take it in as, ooh, this is meant for me. Is God directing my path? Because if it's good, I truly believe that is from Him, right? So that desire, like, it just wakes me up. I get excited. But if you're anything like me, whenever I get this crazy desire, I want it now, not later, not tomorrow. I want it now. And we can get impatient and hopeless when it doesn't happen on our time because it just looks too good. It just looks too juicy. It just looks too ooey gooey to wait for what we want. And we begin to feel desperate because of this feeling that we are running out of time. We feel like there's just not enough time to get what we want. And I want to say this, you are not out of time unless you are literally not doing anything. Someone said the richest place in the world is in a grave, right? Because there's a lot of people who went to their grave with dreams. They ran out of time because they was literally not doing anything. However, I highly recommend that you lose your attachment to time. This is probably the most important thing to take from this if you do not take anything. Things are not going to happen at the speed we need it to happen, unfortunately. Sometimes they will, but a lot of times they won't, right? Because we are not in control of time. We are only in control of what we do with the time that we have. God's time and our time is very different, right? His time is not our time. And that is a very hard thing to accept. However, as the confident queens that you are, I desire for you to develop the courage to trust yourself and trust that everything that belongs to you is on its way. You don't need to beg. You don't need to lie, manipulate, convince. You don't need to overwork. You don't need to hustle. All of these things that desperation does put you in. I no longer value hustle. I value ease. I'm at ease and patient knowing all is well. This is one of my top 3 priorities. And I'm telling you, putting this into practice is not an easy task because you will feel that urge to rush, to work more, to beg, to do whatever the old you would have done to make these things happen. But you have to fight that urge. We are all programmed to believe that in order to make things happen, we have to be desperate enough. That is a lie. Desperation is hopelessness. Confident queens cannot be hopeless. We have to move with expectation. Desperation is a lie. We do not need to act out of desperation to get what we want. We just have to want it bad enough. And that is so we can focus, so that we can make changes, so that we can just start, so that we can improve our lives or reinvent yourself, but not desperate. So find your balance. Realize when you are stepping from wanting something with excitement and expectation to desperation. So you can slow down, take awareness of it, slow down your mind so you can think and remind yourself of who you are, why you're doing this, and that is already yours. Take back your power. You have power to say no to yourself. No, I am not going to torture myself for this. No, I will not lose hope. No, I will not lie. No, I will not beg. No, I will not cheat. I choose peace. Nope, I will not disrespect myself for this. I don't need it. I want it. However, the desire was given to me, so I expect it to be. It is already mine. So I'm just going to do my part, lose attachment to the time, and let God do His. This is one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my entire life. I promise you not. It is a tough decision, but it is the best decision. It takes conscious effort every single day because it is not an easy task. Again, we're breaking the habits of being our old self, of acting like we don't have time. Yeah, life is short, but if the vision was given to us and we are doing what we need to do and we are not distracted and we are staying hopeful, then it is ours. Confident women, we choose to trust. We choose hope over desperation. We choose faith over fear. We move with expectation because it's already ours. It's already yours. So lose your attachment to the time. And so the last step I took to release myself from desperation is to put yourself in the realm of attracting everything you can possibly want by focusing on becoming. Everything that you desire that isn't happening right now is not happening because you have not yet become the person that you need to be to receive it, to hold on to it, and value it. Like, think about it. What is the point of getting something that you desire so badly right now if you are going to ruin it because you're not the person you need to be to hold on to it? So instead of focusing on what you do not have and desperately trying to get it, again, I want you to step into your power and focus on what you can control. And what you can control is focusing on becoming your most confident self. Focus on doing the inner work. Focus on leveling up your mindset and learning how to manage your emotions. Focus on learning how to manage your vibration and your energy level. Focus on doing the work. Focus on becoming a person that you were created to be impactful, to be an inspiration, to lead by example, to be a leader, to just be great. I'm telling you, you do not have to plead, lie, overwork, hustle, be desperate for anything. When you begin to level up as a person, again, from the inside out, you will start to see how things just start coming to you, start flowing to you with least effort. Opportunities will begin to open up for you easier. You will be given more options. You will literally become an attraction to what you want because of who you are. So focus on growing things like your knowledge, your vocabulary, your skill set. Focus on doing things that would move the needle to where you want to be and what you want to have. Becoming a person that has the success that you're looking for, or whatever area you're looking for. It don't have to be business or money. It can be relationships, right? Focus on reinventing yourself, feeling better mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, looking better, investing in your looks, investing in your self-care, and watch how you do not have to chase anything. Allow yourself to receive with ease and breathe easy. Expect all the work that you are doing on yourself will soon reap the benefits. Like it has to. It has no choice to. You're sowing into yourself. You're pouring into yourself in every aspect of the way. There's no choice. You're putting good things out. Is going to come back to you. You're going to reap the benefits. And so this is something that I had to put into myself, that I'm just not the person that I need to be to receive these things yet, because there's a possibility that I may ruin the things. Because when you get things that maybe you wasn't ready for, it is very likely that you can self-sabotage, because you will either feel undeserving of it, or you will feel like you won't live up to the expectation of who you need to be to keep it, right? And hold on to it. And so allow the work to work on you. Allow it to work in you, so that when you get what you want, it's going to feel so ooey gooey. It's going to feel so yummy. It's going to be like, yeah, because you became the person, like you did the work. You poured into yourself. And you know you won't sabotage these things. So affirm to yourself constantly how wonderful it's going to be when I receive whichever it is that I am going after, whichever it is that I desire for me. How wonderful it is going to be. And just focus on becoming that person that you need to be to hold on to these things, to attract these things that you are desiring for your life. Look forward to it and become an vibrational match to it. Because what's happening when you are not a vibrational match, you begin to repel what you want. And that's what I realized. That's what woke me up. That's not what you want. And this happens because a separation happens, an energetic separation that happens when you go from expecting, right, from that confidence, from that hopefulness, excitingly, to feeling like you need something so bad that you can't live without it, that nothing good is without it, that you don't make sense without it. Your self-worth is tied to this very thing. The best part of you is tied to this very thing. And when that happens, you know, your confidence goes to shambles. Your joy goes to shambles. Your happiness goes to shambles. You have to be a vibrational match to what is it that you want. So if you are desiring a good life, then that good life needs to be vibrating inside of you. So this is always inside work, and it doesn't vibrate high within you when you are desperate. It just doesn't. This is the complete opposite of where your energetic level and your vibrational level needs to be when you are desiring to receive. If you continue to operate from a desperate place, you will attract something. It just probably won't be what's for you. It will probably be what's not for you, because we all got something that we desperately thought we needed and then regretted it shortly later, because the decisions that we were making to get that thing, it didn't come from a place of confidence. It came from a place of hopelessness. Our emotions got the best of us. We believed we needed it. We needed to be in control. It defined our worth. It defined how good we were. It gave us value. And that very decision brought us even more unfulfillment and dissatisfaction, which is why I made the decision from that day that I woke up crying in bed, right? Feeling so hopeless, wondering why me. I decided to focus on just becoming the person that I need to be, doing the things that I need to do to attract my desires with ease versus for something that probably wasn't for me in the first place. Because no, like, you don't want that, right? In the end, I was thinking, like, what would all the internal damage be for? What would that be for? And I just couldn't even fathom doing that to my future self. All that internal damage that we are working so hard to build up. What would that be for? To just get something? I don't want that for myself, and I don't want that for you as well. You are confident queens. You don't need to be desperate for nothing. We have hope and we operate with expectation in the unseen, no matter what our circumstances are looking like right now. We trust that all is well. We trust in the good vision that was given for our lives. And we know that the between where we are now and where we want to be is the experiences that we need to experience, because it is creating us into the person that we need to become. The things you're going through, it is helping you become the person that you need to be. Do not lose hope. Laugh without fear of the future and keep moving. And so, my girls, these are all the shifts that I took to help me step back into power, to take it back, to focus on confidence, and to step on desperation, because that is not what we do, okay? So the 3 steps that I took, just to rehash, is number 1, detaching my worth, separating that my happiness and my purpose for living, my ability to just live, from what it is that I wanted. And number 2 was finding that balance between wanting and waiting. Lose that attachment to the time. Your time and God's time is 2 completely different things. To focus on the time that you have and what you're doing in that time. Okay. Number 3 is becoming the person that attracts what she wants. When you become the person from the inside out, everything that you desire, you will soon reap. And so I really, really hope these tips help you. Just take back your power, take back your dignity, step back into hope and crush desperation. Repel that thing, get it out your life. We want to operate out of full trust and excitement and expectation, because that is what you do as confident woman. Desperation doesn't look good on you. Desperation does not become you. Confidence looks good on you. Confidence becomes you. Okay. And so that is it, my girls, for this episode. I truly hope you enjoyed it. If you loved it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you are watching on YouTube. If you are listening on your favorite podcasting platform, then make sure you go ahead and subscribe, leave a rating review, so that I can reach more people with the show. Ways to connect with me and links to all the resources or programs, or just to be in my community, will always be listed in the show notes and the description box. And that is it for this episode, guys. And until next time, bye.